The following is a sports presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hey, what a great thank y'all for being here. Thank you for the blessing of having all of you here today and the fellowship that we've had, breaking bread together. And thanks for the great barbecue, Doodle. And thanks for, I appreciate if all of you could keep out of the press and off the wires all the things that you heard over there on that table over there with that wild bunch that we had in here today. But hey, we're excited about our team. We really are. We had our third day in pads today, so we scrimmaged this morning at 6:30, and we're under the NCAA guidelines. We're allowed 21 days of practice before our first ball game, and in the first 4 of them you cannot have full gear on. And so Sunday morning at 6 a.m. was our first practice in full gear, and then we went to church together, and so today was our third day in full gear. And for the third day, I thought our kids responded very well. I thought our players had retained quite a bit, which means our coaching staff did a good job of teaching the last few days. And we had some excitement on the field this morning. And I think we got a group of guys that are going pretty good. And of course, all that credit goes to our coaching staff, and so I want to introduce to you our 2 coordinators. My biggest job is to equip the coaches with what they need to get the job done, and then my second biggest job is to get the guys, our players, on the same page to play together. And that's the job nowadays. That's the challenge nowadays, to get in today's culture, in today's society, is to get guys that are willing to give themselves for the sake of somebody else. Probably our challenge too in this room, to give ourselves for the sake of others, and that's not easy. And it seems like we always put qualifications on that. I will if, or because I won't. So we are very fortunate to have an unbelievable coaching staff. We got a great mixture of some old guys and young guys, some experienced guys and some guys that aren't too experienced. And we got some unbelievable enthusiasm and creativity on our coaching staff. And so if you want to see a great group of guys working together, impacting lives, come and check these guys out. And so I just want to introduce, we'll start off Coach Clowney. I want him to come up. He's our defensive coordinator, and a guy that played here, was All-American here, still got, I think holds the record for leading tackler here, and has I think he's excited this year because we've got some possibilities that we haven't had in a while. We got a lot of new guys, and that always makes it exciting. The middle of our defense is brand new. Middle meaning tackles, defensive tackles, linebackers, and safeties. It's brand new, and so he and the defensive staff's got a great challenge on their hands.
What's your theme this year?
All right, thank you. Our theme is fight, finish, and be faithful. Fight, finish, and be faithful. And of course, you know where that comes from. That comes out of the Scripture, and it's 2 Timothy 4:7, where it says, "I have fought a good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." And as we got to thinking about our coaching staff and our leaders, as we got to talking about that, we decided that was probably a pretty good one, because there was times in the past that we haven't been in the last couple of years, we haven't been a hitting football team like we really want to be. And I believe in football is blocking and tackling, and I believe that you hit people. You make contact with people. It's a man's game. You go hit people, and we thought that fit in pretty good. And then the finish, instead of getting a 2 or 3 touchdown lead and then losing it and fighting for your life at the end of the ball game, or even getting behind and not getting back in it, are things that we wanted to make sure that we did the very best we could as far as finishing and in ball games, and then faithful, trust each other, trust the coaches, trust each other that 11 of us are going to get it done. And so we thought that was a great theme for us, and not only on the football field but in life. And you know me, I'm always trying to make sure that we transfer football to life. Football is a great laboratory of learning. If we miss out on transferring it over to life, then we're missing the whole purpose for why we do football. Otherwise, football is just another game. And but it's an unbelievable opportunity to teach about life, and so we spend a lot of time talking about that. And our coaching staff is a group that is excited about life. We're a Christian coaching staff. We don't make any bones about that. We're excited about that because now we're coaching from an eternal perspective. We're not coaching from a temporary scoreboard at the end of the field situation. We're coaching from an eternal perspective. And you talk about adding purpose to what we do and adding a reason for what we do, and give us a reason to really be creative and dig down in there real deep to get some things done that we couldn't get done otherwise without trusting the Lord with it. And football don't make a whole lot of sense if you want to be honest about it. And so, in fact is, I won't go there, but I just think it's football with a purpose, and it's an eternal purpose. And so we like our theme. We like the possibilities of teaching out of our theme, and learning out of our theme, and maybe making this a year that one day at a time, a year that will impact kids forever. And so we're glad to have the opportunity. We're glad for football to give us the opportunity. A lot of people go on mission trips. Our mission trip come to us, and so we're fired up about it. Kicking game is worrisome right now. We got a couple of guys that have got some possibilities, but we are really, really struggling with depth, especially. We're looking for a punter. We had a guy that we thought was going to be eligible that's not. We had a transfer that was coming in from Arizona State as a kicker that fell in love with a Russian girl, and I think she took him to Russia. I don't know where he is, and so we got Ben Ogle, who's place kicker that from Greenville that has proven himself in high school. He kicked behind his cousin last year, Kurt Duncan, who's his first cousin. Isn't that interesting? And Charlie Ray is a punter that has had 2 ACL knee surgeries, and was our starter 3 years ago, and now the last 2 years has gone down with ACL injuries. He did last year in pregame warm-up in the second ball game, And so that's when Kurt started punting last year. So we're a toss-up right now in the kicking game, but we got hope, and those guys they've got some character about them. They got some heart about them, and I think they'll work, and they'll give us a chance to get it done with the kicking game.
Coach, I talked to Mike a little bit about DeAndre, but what kind of change have you seen in your quarterback since last season?
Well, the biggest thing about maturity, he was elected to the player committee, which is our leadership committee. And last year, we was on our little retreat that we go on for a couple of days before we start practice, and talk about leadership and about how we're going to handle some things and how we're going to do some things. And he I had a couple on that came to me and said, "Coach, you're going to have to find us a quarterback." They were concerned. They really were concerned. And of course, he proved himself that he could get it done. But he's just a quiet guy. But this year he's been a whole lot more vocal. He's, it don't take a vocal guy to be a leader. It really doesn't. It takes a heartfelt guy to be a leader. And so he's, he had off-season surgery. He had major surgery where he had a bone shaved in his hip and had a hip labrum tear repair. And so I watched him this morning, and I want to tell you that I kind of stand amazed that this kid may be one of the best we've ever had. And I know that's a mouthful, and I know it's yet to be proven what he can do, but I just like the way he handles himself right now, and the way he's leading us.
You do have a young offensive line, new starters. How important is it then to have somebody like Andy Ibbott back there that's been in the program so long and been productive and leader? Talk about it.
Well, Andy is kind of like one of the coaches because he's been here a long time. He's from a coaching family. He's a football family. He enjoys playing, and Andy's going to give you what he's got, and he's got pretty good. He's gotten a little bit bigger. He's coming off-season surgery also, and gotten a little bit bigger, and I think a little bit faster. And he ain't got any better looking, and but he's dating one of the prettiest girls on campus, little soccer. I'm asking him every day. She must be blind. So anyway, but he's doing a good job, and we're very, very excited about having Andy, and we asked him to do a lot of things.
Yeah. I know it's early, but what are some of the biggest challenges you guys face as a whole, as a team?
Well, the kicking game is probably number one right now, and in depth. We got to establish starters on defense. I think we're still a little shaky in one spot on the offensive line that we got to decide who is the next best offensive lineman. We've got to get the best 11 on the field defensively, and then, like I say, we got to get some depth. And we're not after 3 days with putting a uniform on, we're making some progress that way. But in the next 10 days, we got to make a whole lot of progress.